Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I was looking at some of the Facebook pages that were on my board, and there was one about redneck words, and a friend of mine who lives down in Texas, I sent it to them, and yeah, we had a laugh over it. I should take a picture of it and post it at the end of this video, but I'm not going to because some people might get a little offended. But yeah, there was one on there that I was just like, I never thought of it that way, but okay. Um, it had to do with the expression "bless your heart." Um, I'm not going to translate that. If you don't have a translation for that in redneck terms, well, you wouldn't understand the rest of it. Like y'all, that's a common term around here. Y'all. um, Jeff Foxworthy had a video on Southern terminology, like y'all, yump too, words like that. But I did not go to my. I'm not going to my colonoscopy today because after looking over the paperwork that I got yesterday afternoon, I'm like, I need 5 days to prep for this because there's a 5-day prep chart, and I'm like, I ain't one. I don't know if I'm gonna have enough time to cleanse my system like they want me to, and two, it just and so we rescheduled it for middle of May, like May 20th. That way, I don't have to worry about school or work or anything like that. So, it's not that I'm not going to do this. I am going to do this, but today, at this point in time, just ill prepared. So we opted out. Of course, by the time my wife and I decided that it would be better to just reschedule, I had already drinking one of the bottles of Mountain Dew, not Mountain Dew, excuse me, one of the bottles of Gatorade with the Miralax mixed in. And I'm like, yeah, this is cleansing me out pretty quickly, but not enough for the colonoscopy. But the thing is I'm thinking about it, going, you know what? I have been needing a good cleansing for quite some time now, just because I've been stress eating and I've been getting backed up in the whole 9 yards. So I'm kind of happy that I at least drank one bottle. Part of my brain is going, maybe you should drink the other bottle just to make sure you're totally cleansed out. No, I don't like waking up in the middle of the night to have to run to the bathroom. Forgive me for talking about this, because I know a lot of people aren't exactly happy about Jerry talking about it, but I'm not going to go into the details or in depth like she will do. I would just say that I'm happy that it's doing its job and I'm getting cleaned out, and leave it at that. I have two things to clear up. The first thing is there has been a little difficulty on understanding spring break. I have had the week off since last Friday from work and whatnot because of spring break. Now, yeah, it's going to bite a little bit into our income when payday comes, but we were kind of prepared for it, so it's not going to hurt us too much. No, I did not go to Texas. I wanted to go to Texas, but I knew under Jerry's health conditions it was not a possibility. At least not this time around. So we did a staycation, and during the staycation, I tried to clean up bits and pieces of the main part of the house, the kitchen, our room, the bathroom. I didn't get to do any work in here because I focused on other areas, and by the time I was done with those other areas, I was just too pooped to come in here and do anything in here. But I sat down and calculated, okay, 6 more weeks until summer. Until basically I either have to have a part-time summer job or hope we can survive the 2.5 months of no income, which I don't think we can. But I'm working on that. I don't know if my other video talked about this, but I'm going to touch on it real quick. Good news. We got Medicare. So we are covered by Medicare for Jerry's needs, medical needs. And they've got the ball rolling for a home health aide person. The only downside is we have to find a person or somebody who'd be willing to take on the training to be Jerry's home health aide person. This individual has to be able to deal with dressing her wounds, emptying her commode, helping her into the shower. Basically, their job, if whoever it is, their job would be simple stuff like focusing on Jerry Ann's needs. So this person will do cleaning for Jerry Ann around her side of the bed. This person will be responsible for Jerry's needs and cleaning, laundry, things like that. But this individual will not have to worry about cleaning up the bathroom or any communal area. So basically, living room, kitchen, bathroom, in here, they won't touch. They will clean up. They won't even change the bedding. I have to do that because it's considered communal. They will wash Jerry's dishes, and they will clean up after themselves. They will clean up after Jerry. That's it. And hey, you know what? Hey, that relieves me from certain things. Like, I know this person will come in and take care of Jerry, help Jerry take a shower, help Jerry with dressing her wounds, changing her clothes, emptying her commode. 3 hours of basically helping out Jerry. I'd rather have somebody come in here and do exactly that. Just look after Jerry, take care of Jerry, make sure Jerry's taking her meds, make sure she's got her wounds redressed, make sure that Jerry's area is cleaned up and the commode's cleaned up and the dishes for Jerry in the afternoon are cleaned up, things like that. The only thing mom can do the dishes and whatnot, but I would not expect mom to help Jerry dress her wounds or get into the shower or into the commode. So it's a plus. It's better than nothing. Jerry even talked about, going into a healthcare system out of the house to get even better care. And I was kind of like, that's your choice. I know she doesn't want to because the fact is she wants me to be doing most of the stuff for her, which I can kind of understand, but I can kind of go, why? They're not going to pay me to take care of you because they won't allow direct family members, spouses, basically, to go through the program and get paid to do it. I think they said that they would pay for like a family member other than the husband, like niece, nephew, sister, cousin, something like that. But it would be for 3 hours a day. And unfortunately, Julie can't do it because Julie has a job. She's working for... Now, I don't understand this. She's basically working at home for, I guess, the state of Nevada's gambling, I don't know, something to do with casinos that she can do from home, just like her daughter is doing. It's great. Problem is she cannot travel out of the state of Nevada and still do the job. She has to be in Nevada. I don't know why, but, I'm not going to complain. Yeah, I am. I'm going to complain the fact that she can't do it here. But I understand the situation, so it's like one of those, like, okay. I wish our friend Lisa from Texas could come up here and help Jerry out while doing her at home. She works on computers at home. I don't know exactly what she does, but there's little things that it's like, well, I wish this person could do it, but this person has their own health issues. This person has health issues. This person can't leave the state because of her job. My sister-in-law, Janie, and her life partner have health issues. One of them just had their other knee operated on, so they basically have, I think it was Janie that has both her knees, has had operations of one form or another on them. So Janie really can't do much heavy lifting or anything like that. Most of the nephews in New York that I can get along with have their own careers. One of them works for the fire department in Island Park. The other one, I'm not sure what he does. I don't know what Peter Jr. does, or Peter the Third, as we call him, because he's the third member in the family with the same exact name as my father-in-law and his father. Alicia's two boys that are still around have careers. One of them, I think, works for the correctional facilities of, he's in corrections, basically, a guard of some sort. I don't remember what the younger one does. Oh, I know what he does because I found out about it not too long ago. He's a YouTuber now. He found out through me and Jerry that, he can earn money through YouTube, and he watches other people's videos and critiques them, basically. And both of them have girlfriends. I think one of them is, Christopher. I think he's engaged, but I'm not sure. It's really hard for me to keep track of them. Not because of the fact I don't have contact with them, but because it's all through Jerry Ann. Jerry Ann talks to Alicia a lot. And I'll tell you what, out of all Jerry Ann's siblings, it's the girls that I get along with better than, well, nobody gets along with the older brother. Everybody doesn't like him. They all consider him to be a shyster, but that's their choice. I don't like him just because of his attitude and whatnot, but anyhow, no, I never left Missouri during my spring break. We did a staycation. So, yeah, we never went anywhere. So I don't know who came up with the whole idea that I left the state of Missouri to go to Texas during spring break. No, I wanted to, but I knew that was not going to happen because of the factor of Jerry Ann's health. The good thing about the factor that Jerry was approved, and I don't know how how my name was put on there or why my name was put on there, but Jerry Ann and I are approved for Medicaid. So we're dealing with that. We're trying to get a home health aide person. The good thing about Medicaid is when summertime comes around and because April 13th, she's going to find out if she can start walking or not. But if she can start walking and maybe driving by something by June, into May, whatever, we might, very slim chance, but we might try to go visit our friends down in Texas. I would like it if she could go see her family in Vegas, because she has not seen them in, well, last time we saw Julie was before Thanksgiving. But she hasn't seen her nieces in quite some time. It would be nice if they could do a road trip up here, but that depends on if they can take any time away from their job. We have, well, I don't think Katie's ever been up here. I think the only one who's actually been up here that I can remember is Abigail. So Jerry hasn't seen Katie since Robert's funeral about 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, however you want to put it. She hasn't seen Abigail in at least 3 to 4 years, and the middle daughter, Faith, she hasn't seen Faith in I don't know how long. So it'd be nice if either she can go out there, be a long drive, it'd be a good day and a half drive, but it'd be nice to go out there and see them. I don't really want to go in summertime because it's way too hot for me, but that's just me. But depending on Jerry's health and whatnot, come the summertime, depends on if we're going to go anywhere. And most likely, if we do go anywhere, it's most likely going to be to Texas, maybe towards late July. Well, maybe we can also do a trip to Ohio. But I'm not 100% sure if we're going to be able to do anything. And if we can, it's going to be one of those where we're going to go, how much money do we have saved up, do I have a summer job, because if I have a summer job, I probably will not be able to go anywhere. So it's one of those like balancing acts. What was the other subject I wanted to talk about besides the everyday stuff? I don't remember, so it must not have been that important. If I do remember and it comes up, I'll talk about it. Yesterday was interesting. We went to her immunotherapy and sat down and talked to the doctor before her treatment. And it was decided between the dermatologist and how well she's doing with the cancer and whatnot. It is decided we're going to take off of doing any medication, no immunotherapy, no Cabometyx, until April 28th to see if her body, all the external issues start to heal up. And if they do heal up, it's most likely the immunotherapy medication is what's causing her skin issues. And if that is the case, they'll have to reevaluate and decide what other immunotherapy treatment that they can use to continue Jerry's treatments. But since everything looks good, everything's been shrinking, everything's been healing up, the doctor and Jerry basically agreed that to have a month off to see what happens with her skin. Basically, what they're qualifying, what they're putting that under is quality of life. The reason why they're saying quality of life is right now because she is healing. They're just trying to give her a more beneficial or a better life, basically better living conditions with her body and the medicines and all that stuff. This is not a I hate to use the words, but it's the only words I can think of. This is not a death sentence. She is not on her last leg. She is actually doing better than they had hoped for. So I'm like, okay, so now all we have to do until April 28th is to just try to give her less pain and take care of her body that's messed up, the external parts. So I'm actually kind of happy that she's doing better. I am sorry that she has not been able, or has not been feeling up to doing long videos. She did a short yesterday just to, say, hey, I'm still here. I'm pretty sure the various hate groups that are out there who don't like her for one reason or another are disappointed. Well, good for them. Because all I can say about them is, or as the redneck would say, bless your heart. Which basically is a nice way of saying go piss up a tree. I gave you a harsher translation of that than what was on the Facebook page that I saw. So, but yeah, she is slowly, building up strength. I'm hoping Sunday we can sit down and do a live chat, friend mail opening type video. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day for me because I have to be at my job at 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going to be there from 11 to 9 p.m. So that's like 10 hours of catering. So I don't know exactly what all I'm going to be doing when I get there, but I'm pretty sure that I will get my assignment when I get there. Of course, I did tell them that I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'll give them a ring to let them know. But I think I'll make it because I'm hoping my system will settle down by then. Local events. Yesterday when we were coming home from the doctor's appointments, I had my appointment for my hands, and the doctor couldn't really tell me what the issue was because it's some minor swelling around my thumb, like right in this area, and my finger. And she asked me to put my fingers together as best as I could, and like my pinky does not want to come all the way in. It's been that way all my life. But she had noticed that there was swelling in the index finger. So, yeah. But on our way home, it started to like sleet. And as we were getting home and pulling in the driveway, it turned from sleet to snow. Not enough to stick anywhere or anything like that, just enough to say, hey, that's not mixed, that's snow. Woke up this morning, I actually turned off my alarm and slept in until 8:30. I didn't want to sleep in that long. I wanted to get up by at least 7. I ended up sleeping in because I had my alarm set for 6:30 and I slept for another 2 hours. Well, I got up and I was like, God, it's cold. Why is it cold? Looked at the house thermometer, which gives outside temperature, 34 degrees. And that wasn't even me looking at my phone for wind chill. And I'm like, so we went from spring to winter. We didn't go forward from spring to summer, which happened last year, where it was like nice, boom, as hot as can be overnight. No, this was like, oh, this is decent weather. It's in the, upper 40s, lower 50s. Wake up the next day and it's in the 30s, and the high is only supposed to be around maybe 52. And I'm like, what in God's name is happening with this crazy weather? I have several crazy theories, but yeah, that'd be crazy. One of them is polar shift, and the Earth is rotating in such a way that Canada is getting closer to being the Arctic. Canada is becoming Arctica. It's getting closer to the North Pole. That's one theory. The other theory, which, by the way, science has said that the poles are shifting by 3 to 5 feet a year. So that's scientific information. Non-scientific information that I'm not, well, it's kind of scientific information, but greenhouse gases, all the pollutants we put up in the air is starting to cause the sun to be blocked, so it's not heating up the planet like it normally should do. There's a lot of different theories I have, and those are just the top two. But, we have polar shift, greenhouse gases causing... basically, the scientists have said that at our current rate of greenhouse gases and polar shifts, there is a chance of seeing another ice age by, what did they say, 2050? Something like that. And I'm kind of like, well, if I'm still alive in 2050, I'll literally be able to say I've seen it all. So, a lot of different theories and whatnot. Most of it comes from Science Digest or various scientific magazines or websites. Oh, excuse me. My knee kind of got stiff. But no, I was kind of like, wow, I might be able to see one turn of July this year, the way this weather's going. God forbid, but still, it's just like, oh boy. I mean, I can understand up in the mountains seeing snow in the middle of summertime because they're, what is Yellowstone? Yellowstone's like 7,000, 8,000 feet above sea level, something like that. One of the nearby mountains is 12,000 feet above sea level or something, or 10 or 12,000 feet above sea level. So, yeah, snow in the middle of summertime is possible up there because, well, like they used to say when I was up there, watch the clouds. If the clouds are coming from the north, we might get snow. If they're coming from the south, we're going to get rain. It's like here. The old farmers, the old school farmers who didn't rely on a weatherman would just go outside the house and look up at the sky and see how the chickens were acting up, and depending on how they're acting, depending on what kind of weather they were getting, At least that's what my cousin used to say. If the chickens are acting a little crazy, it's probably because it's going to storm. If they're acting very, very quiet and huddled together, it's probably going to get cold and snowy. And they weren't free-range chickens. They had coops and whatnot, so they had places to get out of the weather. But still, it's just even inside the chicken coop, depending on how they were acting, depending on the weather. And they say it's the same thing with cattle. If you have cattle and they have a barn or someplace to go inside during bad weather, if they didn't leave the barn, it's probably because it's going to have some sort of rain or some other kind of bad weather. They even said that if not the horses, who told me this one? They're talking about sheep, and they said if the sheep are huddling together or sitting on the ground trying to keep warm, it's going to get cold in the middle of the night. It could snow. If they're spread out and just doing their own thing, it's just normal everyday weather. And if they were huddled together but not on the ground, it's because the fact that it was going to rain and they were trying to keep their undersides dry. Most animals, depending on the weather, depends on how they act because they're sensitive to that stuff. Old wives' tales, old farmers' tales. So never seen it happen before, so I don't know because I don't live on a farm. And my cousin, well, after Marvin Sr. passed away, the farm itself kind of fell in disarray, and his wife, I don't know if it's just she couldn't handle doing everything by herself or what the deal was. So that and the fact of the house that they were living in had been in the family for quite some time, and she sold. I don't know exactly what happened, so I'm not going to talk about it. I just know that last time I was out there, I felt sorry because you can see some of the foundation on one corner of the house crumbling, and kind of wish that either I had the money or the ability to keep it, keep it up for her, and then God only knows who's going to claim that land after she passes, whoever it's supposed to go down to, because who knows if they're going to take it or just, I don't know. I don't like thinking about stuff like that because I know of several family properties, and one of them, I don't know if it was foreclosed or taken over by the bank, or if the family sold it just because nobody was using it. I would hate to see this piece of property go because it's a nice piece of property, and it's in a nice area, semi-secluded. You do have your neighbors, but I have a feeling bits and pieces of it have either been left to the family or something like that. I don't know. But the Henson family farm up in Bowling Green, Missouri, is still in operation, and I think that's the one piece of property I think we're trying to hold on to for future generations. But never can tell what the future holds. Anyhow, how long have I been doing this? 33 minutes. Okay. Anyhow, hopefully if the weather warms up a little later this afternoon, I will try to feed my birdies. They keep on coming around like, hey, dude, last year you had this thing filled up this time of year. Well, weather's changed, but they're still here, so I got to do what I can do. I think most of today I'm going to be spending time either in this, in the room with Jerry, or trying to do little projects, because under the conditions that I'm dealing with right now, I need to stay as close to the restroom as possible. But tonight's dinner is supposed to be a meatball recipe from EveryPlate, and I've already had a number of people say that if all I did was cooking recipes or cooking videos, that they'd be good with that. But I'm thinking about the future, and I'm thinking that now I'm not going to try to bombard you guys with videos, but I'm thinking about maybe starting a separate channel just on cooking, and then keep this channel for just everyday conversations. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put that up to a vote. I know a lot of you guys will be like, whatever you want to do, but I kind of want to hear your opinion. Should I do one channel with just cooking and one channel with just vlogging, and then I won't bombard you with 2 videos a day, but I will, like, one day will be a cooking video, another day will be just a regular vlog, and I can do that on just one channel, or I can do a channel with cooking, and then this channel. So I kind of want to hear your opinion. I mean, it won't matter to me, because either way, I'll find a way to work it out. I mean, but I like to hear other people's opinions sometimes. And I know there's people out there that probably, their opinions are probably not exactly the best, but you know what? I take it into account, because our world is getting smaller and smaller thanks to the internet. And I know it's a big world out there with all kinds of opportunities and all kinds of things to do and whatnot. But thanks to the digital age, you have multimedia video games where you can connect with people via the game from any part of the globe. I know when I was doing a lot of online gaming with Call of Duty, especially when I was gaming late at night, I'd end up running into people from England, Australia. I think we had the group that I was running with at the end before I stopped playing Call of Duty. I had 2 guys from England, somebody from, I couldn't tell if it was a guy or a girl, because Australian accents are interesting, but if you're not looking face to face, sometimes it's hard to determine. But I had somebody from Australia, and I think it was a girl. Sounded like a Sheila. There's that one guy, really good gamer. He was from Germany. And then there was one kid, sounded like a kid, and I think he said he was from Japan, like he lived in Tokyo or someplace like that in Japan. And I was like, cool, that's great, getting to play with other people. When I was playing World of Warcraft, it was hard to communicate because you had to type in messages. You weren't communicating verbally. So, and that's the one game that I didn't do a lot of conversations, because it's kind of hard to play the game and talk at the same time unless you're able to do it via audio. So, but I like knowing about other people. I know through this media, I've got at least 2 different people, maybe a third person from England. I got people from all across the U.S. I don't know if I think I would have 1 or 2 from Canada. But I don't know where everybody else is from. So if you want to, and this is your choice, if you want to also, give me a heads up of where you're from, you don't have to specify what part of the country. You can just say Mexico, Canada, Great Britain, or the UK, Australia, wherever in the US. I don't mind. Everybody pretty much knows where I live. Rolla, Missouri, US of A. Of course, I've been to so many other places that sometimes when people ask me where I'm from, I go, what year? And they look at me like, what? I'm like, I'm a military brat. So every 3 years I move someplace new. I mean, born in the Philippines, been to Tucson, Phoenix, Little Rock, Arkansas, Han Air Force Base, West Germany, before the reunification. Right here in Missouri, I can tell you, I lived in St. James, I've lived over in Jerome, I've lived here in Rolla, but I've also worked 2 different summers in Yellowstone National Park and been to New York. Now, some people will ask me, which location, which place you lived was your favorite? And I'm like, I loved the 3 years in Germany because it was beautiful had fun in snow that I've never seen before until 80, 81. I loved the summers that I spent in Yellowstone National Park because I'm an outdoors. I mean, I love the mountains. I love the woods. Um, love nature. I would probably be one of the few people that would get in trouble in Yellowstone if I felt like I could connect to some of the animals and get close to them, because bears. A lot of people don't want to mess with bears. Bison. The problem with bison is, or buffalo, is they're nearsighted, so they go by sound and smell. Um, I remember sitting by one of the waterways that was going through the backside of the um, geyser of Old Faithful. It was not freezing cold water, but it wasn't like boiling hot. You can literally dip your toes in it and not have any problems. I remember sitting there one time and seeing otter playing in the water. Looked across the stream and see like marmots and rabbits and various other critters running around the forested areas. Um, you know, I would have loved to be in the northern part of Yellowstone in an area called, it's not Roosevelt, it's a smaller campground. It doesn't have a lot of amenities because it's more for backcountry people or people who want to see a different part of the park. It's, if you take the road from Cody, Wyoming, and head towards Mammoth Hot Springs, you would run past the facility, the location. But I had a couple friends who were up there the year before, and they said it was so beautiful and it wasn't that busy, so it was very quiet, and you can wake up and hear the wolves howling and then go to bed and hear the wolves howling again at the end of the day. And I was like, oh man, I would love to be up there, because that's the one thing in Yellowstone that I have not experienced yet that I so want to experience, is to sit on the porch of a dorm and just listen to them. Of course, I'd be the crazy person going, okay, I'm taking my backpack and my camping gear, and I'm going to go up in the woods and see if I can get even one wolf come within my, within visual sight. They're still there of humans, but they're a very majestic animal, as far as I'm concerned. I know a lot of people are like, oh, wolves, I heard stories, yeah, big bad wolf, blah, 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 blah. No, I hate stories like that. You don't understand. There was a story in the news not too long ago where a hunter, or not, he wasn't really, I don't know if he was a hunter or just a backpacker, had come across a wolf that got caught in somebody's steel trap. And these things are designed to break the leg of an animal. And I hate those things. I really hate those things. Why people still use them. I mean, come on, people. But the hunter came across the wolf, or I don't know. I keep on saying hunter, but I should just say backpacker. Came across a wolf and used a stick, a long sturdy limb from a tree that fell, to help pry the trap open. Now, you think because the wolf has been in this trap for who knows how long, is extremely agitated, besides who knows how weak it is. But the guy got the wolf out of the trap. Surprisingly enough, the wolf didn't run or anything like that, probably because of the factor of exhaustion. But according to the story, the backpacker wrapped the wolf's injured leg in a bandage, like gauze bandage or something like that, something that would easily come off. Of course, the wolf could easily gnaw it off or anything like that. But the backpacker basically stayed near the wolf for, I think, the day until the wolf was strong enough to limp off on his own. Now, the interesting thing is that backpacker, after the wolf left him, went about his backpacking trip in the backcountry of, I think it was Canada or something like that. And, like, some days later, the backpacker came into a situation where, he was, luckily he didn't get jumped by the animal, but he got jumped by, or accosted, let's say that much, by a mountain lion. Now, we know, if you know anything about mountain lions are ambush predators. They wait until the prey passes by and then jump on them. Well, I guess the backpacker was acute enough, or understood the lay of the land well enough to understand that he was basically in danger. And he pretty much was. Well, funny enough is the wolf and two other, I guess, of his pack members was in the area at the same time, and basically jumped and chased off the mountain lion. And the backpacker basically knew the wolf because the bandage was still on the wolf's leg. So it's one of those stories that I've heard many times where wolves come to the aid or rescue of human beings. I've even heard a story where a wolf actually pulled a child out of a freezing lake, a frozen lake that the child fell into. I've heard stories about wolves going and attracting the attention of park rangers to the aid of a human being that either injured himself or stepped on a trap or something along those lines. You don't hear very many, childhood stories of, the wolf coming to the human's aid, or the wolf, becoming acquainted with a human being and becoming partners, or helped each other in one way or another. You don't hear about those old frontier stories where, a human being fed a hungry wolf and they became friends, or, something along that line, mutual aid of one form or another. No, because most of our old school stories about wolves are, they're vicious, they're mean, they attack you, they kill your cattle, they do this, and they're just a menace. That's not true. It's not true. They're not a menace. The only time they're a menace is if it's a solitary lone wolf who has been kicked out of its pack for one reason or another and having to learn how to survive on its own. So yeah, then that lone wolf might go after, sheep, or, somebody's cattle or sheep or goats that they can get to easily. Foxes are beautiful animals, but they are notorious for being cunning, clever, and getting into chicken coops. And a lot of times, it's probably because of the fact that the fox can't find its own natural prey, which is usually like rabbits and mice and small birds. I watched so many beautiful scenes from National Geographic about foxes in Yellowstone, and watching how they'll sit there and they'll be walking across the snowy tundra of its home landscape and doing this, because it's listening for voles and mice that are underneath the snowpack. And then you watch them jump up and nose first into the snow to go after that morsel of food. Now, what most people don't realize is, out of every attempt to get food, there's always that 9 to 10 ratio. Basically, 9 times out of 10, they won't get anything. And they have to keep on hunting. Especially animals like foxes and coyotes, because foxes and coyotes are not pack animals. They're either solitary or it's just the mated pair. And a lot of times during the wintertime, the mated pair, there's the female in the den with pups, or getting ready to have pups, and the male has to go out and do as much hunting as possible to bring her nourishment. And a lot of times the males will literally not starve themselves to death, but literally use every ounce of body fat that they have on them. So by the time spring comes around, the male looks like he's been a mess. He's just hasn't eaten in months. So yeah, coyotes are more daring than foxes. Foxes understand that there's a danger when it comes to humans. Coyotes, on the other hand, if they think they can get into a chicken coop or whatever, they're more notorious for getting into chicken coops than foxes. So if any animal is to blame for the most amount of attacks on human herds or flocks, it's the coyote. It's a coyote. But anyhow, sorry, I get into an area that I'm really impassioned by, and that's animals in Yellowstone. I don't know how warm it's going to get today, but I hope it gets warm enough for me to do some, like feed the birds especially, and hopefully today will be a calm day because there's no plans for today. I just have to finish up 1 or 2 things before tomorrow, which is basically my uniform laundry. So I have clean uniforms. Just lightweight stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go before it becomes any longer. It's already over 50 minutes, so I'm sorry. Sorry, but not sorry, because there's a lot of things I wanted to talk about. But anyhow, you guys have... Yep. If you like... If you like this vlog, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments about this vlog, go ahead and put them on here. If you're new to my channel and you like the stories that I talk about when it comes to my experiences with Germany or Yellowstone or just my love of nature, I'm a very eclectic person when it comes to certain subjects, different cultures, different ways of living, different belief systems. I am a Christian. I am rooted in Christianity. So my look into other belief systems either happened back in my late teens after a family tragedy, I should say, or the fact that I just recently discovered that I am descended, according to my ancestral DNA kit, that I have a good percentage of Norwegian, or actually several different countries from the Scandinavian territories. So I will talk about that stuff every so often. But if you happen to like the matter of today, you can go ahead and join by clicking the subscribe button. And then once you do that, a bell will pop up. Click on that and you'll be notified of my next video. Lately, I have been doing some cooking videos and just videos like this. So if you want to, you can take a look at some of the previous videos to help you make a decision if you want to join or not. It's up to you. But anyhow, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.